Do you like healthy eating? Then we have to cook healthy meals because we want our family to be healthy and we want to make sure that what's going inside of their body is as good as it can be. So let's get this year off to a wonderful start. We are starting 2021 with a whole month of healthy meals. And I just hope that you're going to be right here in the kitchen with me as we cook. And so there's going to be a lot of fish, a lot of vegetables, and we're going to use a variety of different techniques to get the job done. Now, while we're trying to be healthy, we also want to keep our cooking times as short as possible. So we're going to try to stay within that 30-minute meal range in addition to that. So come and cook healthy with me in 2021. Tonight, we are preparing some savory sweet potato fries, and I think you're going to like them, so stay right there. Now I've turned you down so you can see our sweet potatoes. I have peeled these sweet potatoes as well as I sliced them into lengthwise into 4 slices and then cut each of those slices into 3 or 4 depending on the size, so that most of the pieces are going to be just about the same size. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put this into a Ziploc bag, and that's really the only reason I'm using the Ziploc bag is because I'm trying to keep things pretty clean, and this is a great way to be able to do it. I've included a link down below. Through Amazon, I order all of my Ziploc bags. I always get freezer bags because they're the sturdiest. And you can either use them in the freezer, you can use them for what we're doing now, but they hold up. They hold up to your I kind of beat mine up, and so that's what we have going on here. Now, from there, I have some oil. You can use EVOO. I'm using grapeseed oil because that's what I have tonight. So I am going to pour over my sweet potatoes some oil, and that was 2 tablespoons. I'm also going to add in about a tablespoon and a half of lemon juice. It was the juice of 1 whole lemon. I'm going to add in, now remember this is savory, but they're sweet potatoes, so they need a little bit of a kick. So I'm going to add in about a half teaspoon of brown sugar. I'm going to add in a pinch, kind of a big pinch. Well, we'll just do it with a spoon. But I'm going to add in about a 4th teaspoon of pepperoncino that I'm going to sprinkle in. Now we need to come to the salt and pepper. I've got salt. I'm going to add, since they aren't salted, about a half teaspoon of salt. They need to have some seasoning, and about a half teaspoon of pepper. If you'd like more pepper, you can certainly add more if you like. I'm also going to add in, this is a mix that I have, and you know, I tell you, I buy a lot of my mixes. I don't know if you can tell, but I buy a lot of my mixes at Ross. And this is one that I found that I have used and used. In fact, I used it so much I went back and got another one. And I'm using a teaspoon. This is oregano. It's really an herbal mix with lemon zest. And it smells wonderful. It's just a mixed herb blend, but it has a lot of oregano and a little bit of garlic in there. Now, so we've got all of those items in our bag. I'm going to kind of fold it over as close as possible. Keep it tight because we want to take out as much air as possible and zip it up well. Now let me move these. We will have to use those in just a moment. Then, this is the reason why you put it in the bag, because then you can shake it around and everybody gets coated in the oil and the lemon juice. You could certainly do this the night before, several hours before, or whenever. I've even done it and frozen them and just, you know, have them all ready right there from the freezer, ready to go. Now I'm going to kind of take these and I'm going to spread them out so that they're all down in the oil and the lemon juice. And that way when I flip, there we go. We're just kind of massaging as we go, making sure that everybody gets some of the seasoning. And so these are ready. Now, I don't need to put them in at this second because we're going to get our green beans ready as well. And we will start counting that 30 minutes once everything is prepped. We are also preparing some garlic, lemon, roasted green beans, as well as salmon. Salmon is so healthy and it has great omega-3 oils. And so let's get that on the stove and our meal is going to be ready in about 30 minutes. I have some green beans that I'm going to place here. I've rinsed them off and I just want to get some of the water off of them. So they've been snipped and they're pretty ready, but I just want to make sure that the excess amount of water was off. So I'm taking my paper towel. I'm just kind of giving them a rub down. Now, how are you doing now that we're into 2021? Man, it was so quiet and so different of a start. Now, if you're young, you may not have really stopped, but certainly I hope you're wearing your mask and doing those kind of things that will help to protect you, because we all need that. And I just see a couple of ends that I missed, so I'm just making sure I go back and clean those up. Just a few. Okay, now I'm going to take all of these, and I have bag number 2, so I'm going to place these into their bag. See if I can pick them up and get them in. Sometime it works, sometime it doesn't. There we go. They're in. Gave me a chance to kind of shake them off onto the towel. This is enough for the big guy and myself, but obviously if you had a larger family, you would need more. So this is enough for probably 3 people, 3 servings. We like green beans. And since most of our meal is going to be vegetable, we need to make sure that we have all of that taken care of. Now, so I'm going to sit this and we're going to start putting things right here into our container. So let me get my oil, because we're going to need some oil. And I'm going to add in the equivalent of a couple of tablespoons of oil. Okay, that's grapeseed oil. And you're going to see that we're carrying our spices through so that you'll know that once you take those spices out, that's what we're going to need. Our meal is going to go together. Now I'm going to add in just a little bit of brown sugar. I only have a little that's left in there, and I don't want to waste it. That's going to help with those green beans browning up just a little bit. Not really going to make them excessively sweet, but I think the molasses is going to add to the flavor. Now, so we're going to add in about 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepperoncino. I'm going to sprinkle that in. Pepperoncino actually is very good for you, and it's good for your stomach and your intestines. So those are things you want to have. Now I'm going to add in a touch extra of garlic. Even though we're going to use our mix, I'm going to put a little extra garlic powder in. That was about a good pinch, or about 1/4 of a teaspoon of garlic powder that we've added in. I'm going to add in a teaspoon of our mix, our herbal mix, which has a little extra garlic as well as lemon. And that's something we haven't put in yet. I'm going to put in about a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, black pepper, as well as about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Everything needs flavor. Now, the only thing we haven't really put in here is the lemon. So, let me get that. Okay, I've got about a tablespoon of lemon juice that I'm sprinkling in. And all of that's going to go right here, and I'll throw that into the sink. Now, tonight, I'm telling you, I'm cheating on the salmon. I bought this delicious salmon from Aldi's. I don't know if you've ever gotten their fresh salmon, but they have a Mediterranean salmon that they sell that is already seasoned. And literally, all you have to do is put a tiny bit of oil on your grill or in your pan, and then your salmon is going to be ready. It's already prepared. So you just have to put it on the stove. That's it. So that's what we're going to do tonight for that part. But it will take a little bit of time to make sure that all of that is in place. And we have to time things. Now, the item that's going to take the longest is the sweet potatoes. So we will make sure that we put those in first. And after those sweet potatoes are about halfway, we will add roasted green beans. We will roast these, and then we'll start to grill our salmon. Now, if you have not gone down and hit that subscribe button, do it right now. Subscribe, because then you'll be notified every time I upload. Because you know, here at Ebony IV Time, that we do things in the kitchen for the kitchen. So that includes cooking, decorating, DIYs, all kinds of things right here in the kitchen. In addition to talking with you, sitting at the table, sharing our thoughts together. Now, you know that the kitchen is the hub of the home. It's the heart. And within that heart, it's the place where we share, where we teach, and of course, where we nurture. So, if you're interested in what we do here, hit that subscribe button, tap that little bell icon, and also check down below in the description box, because I usually list a lot of my favorite things right down there. And yes, it's an Amazon affiliate link, and I may get 2 cents. But anyway, come on and join the family. I would love to have you right here. 3 nights a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. All right, we're going to get those sweet potatoes onto the pan and into a 425 oven. 425. Now, your oven may heat up faster than mine. I'm playing around with mine because this is a new stove. And so I'm thinking that 425 with a gas range is going to be plenty hot to get the results that we want. Now, let me keep in mind, under normal circumstances, making these sweet potato fries, I would not have peeled them. But my sweet potatoes were a little past their perfection. And the peels just did not look good, and they weren't something that I really wanted us to eat. So that's the reason why I peeled them. So if you have brand new sweet potatoes, then don't peel them. Just slice them, cut them, you're good to go. So let's get down here and let's get these sweet potatoes into the oven. Now, here's the pan that the sweet potatoes are gonna go on. And you know that we have put the sweet potatoes together. We have all the seasonings taken care of. And so I'm going to take the bag, I'm going to get it open, and I'm going to spread those sweet potatoes. Woo! Didn't want all that liquid. I'm going to spread the sweet potatoes out on this pan. Let me get a spatula. Kind of juicy, isn't it? That's that lemon juice and the oil. So we're going to get those spread out. They've been resting in the bag, collecting all of that. That's another reason why we need such a high temperature, because we want all that liquid to evaporate. Now, this should technically take about 16, 18 to 20 minutes for them to cook. So probably after about 10 to 12 minutes, I'll go ahead and also add in the pan with the green beans. So there they are spread out, and as soon as my oven gets to the 425, I will add these in. All right, well, the oven's ready, and I'm going to get her opened up. Woo, nice and hot. And I'm going to place these sweet potatoes right in. I'm going to turn them across for now because they're in there by themselves. So we're going to give it about 15 minutes, and then we'll put the green beans in. Now, let me show you what I've done with the green beans. Our green beans are here. I have them in the pan scattered. And let's see if I can bring you a little closer, and you'll see I've sprinkled just a little bit of parm on those green beans so that we'd have a little extra flavor in there. So we've got just a little bit of Parmesan cheese on top of what we had already done in the bag. So in 15 minutes, I'll take this and pop it into our 425 oven. Well, I flipped the potatoes over, and I've turned the oven up a little higher. I actually put it on 500 so that they can really start to char. You're starting to see a little bit of that. And I'm going to put them in, and I'm also going to add in our roasted green beans. So everybody will be in there at the same time. So about another 10 minutes or so. Now let's get to that grilled salmon. You know, we got this salmon, as I told you earlier, from Aldi's. And Aldi's has two different kinds of fresh salmon that they sell. They basically sell salmon that is seasoned, and then they sell a salmon that's unseasoned. Now, I usually purchase the one that's seasoned, which is called a Mediterranean mix, and it has all those good Mediterranean herbs on it. And all I do is slice it in half. It's enough for the both of us to have our serving of protein for the day, and it just works out great. Now, as you can see in the video, because I didn't do it myself, I didn't go into a lot of detail with the salmon itself, other than just the fact that we are preparing it. I'm letting you see it on the griddle. And this is the first time I've used the griddle, so this is a little new, but I'm taking you on the adventure because you're here, your family, and we're going to do it together. Now, I'm looking at those sweet potatoes, and those sweet potatoes, oh my goodness, smell so good. Now, the green beans are not ready, so they need to stay in the oven, and I'm cutting the heat up on the oven just a little bit. And the reason for that is because I want the the sweet potatoes to have just a little char to them, because remember, I took my skins off the sweet potatoes. So that little bit of char is going to give that little bit of chew. And oh, these are so good. You are going to absolutely love them. And you know, they're not the sweetness that you get is more the natural sweetness. Now, you know, guys, what I learned with this gas stove, and I told you I'm kind of feeling my way with it. I cannot use parchment paper to do what I did. And next time I will have to do it with foil, and I'll just use the nonstick foil. Now I'm checking those green beans and flipping them over, making sure that they get well done. I want them to be well cooked, but I don't want them to be mush. And as you can see, I can't stop eating those sweet potatoes. They are just so good. So we're going to continue to work on the salmon, and the griddle is going. Man, it's doing a great job. Now, what I can tell you with the griddle is that it has a tendency with the seasonings to stick a little bit. And I certainly could have used a different spatula, but since I had started with this one, that's the one I stayed with. And I just continued to flip it back and forth, just to keep everything where it was supposed to be. Now that the oven is nice and hot, it's gone up a few more. I'm going to slide these back into the oven and just give them a few more minutes to just get that little bit of crisp on the outside. And you'll be amazed, because you know the savoriness is something that we sometimes miss out on with sweet potato fries. Sometimes they're just too sweet. And also with sweet potato fries, sometimes they don't stay in the oven long enough to really get crisp on the outside. Now, we're also going to try another version another day where we are able to soak those fries in a solution that's supposed to of cornstarch and water. I didn't want to do that today, but we're going to try that. Now, I pulled the parchment paper out, and let's get this served. So, we're putting on our sweet potato fries on the plate. Notice the size of the plate. This is a smaller size plate. I'm doing that purposely. That's going to be my way to make sure that no one overindulges. Now, so we've got lots of good green beans, because the green beans are certainly good for your body. And on top of those green beans, I'm going to lay in the salmon. And everything is steaming. So look at that plate. It's going to be so good. Now, I've already called the big guy to come to dinner. He's getting his hands washed, and so I'm just finishing up the plates, getting everything, so as he walks out, his plate will be ready. He can pick it up and ready to go, because he likes to eat dinner in front of the TV and watch the news. So I don't know about your hubby, but that's what mine likes to do. So we've got I'm putting my salmon on the plate. Notice I had a Mimi size salmon, piece of salmon, and he had the Papa size. So let me get my sweet potatoes in. Oh, they really are delicious. Oh my goodness. Now let me take a bite with you and let you see that plate. Oh, yummy, yummy, yummy. So I am going to get some of those sweet potatoes. They're soft on the inside, and they are kind of crispy on the outside. Yum. Those green beans, their texture's just perfect. And they're nice and hot. They are so good, guys. I can't wait to just sit down and eat. And this salmon is flaky. Woo! Delicious. Absolutely delicious. So I hope you enjoy your dinner tonight, because I certainly am. Good morning. I thought before I went on with my day that I would take a moment and say thank you. I had such a good time in the kitchen with you last night. We cooked and had a delicious, healthy meal. And I'm doing what I do. When the sun is out, I take the time to sit here and bask in the warmth, because we have to take advantage of that, because after all, we're in the middle of winter and you know how that goes. So one day it's sunny, the next day it's a little dreary, and we have had so much rain. Oh my goodness, it's been off the chart. So I am just enjoying the moment and enjoying you. Thank you. And I hope to see you very soon. Now, I have several things that are coming up that are going to be special that I know you are going to like. We're going to be decorating some things for the front porch, because it's time to get all the Christmas things down, and I'm trying to hold on to it as long as I can, because after all, I love the season. But you know what? Also, I don't know if you know, but we've been asked to keep our lights in our windows, and if possible, keep your lights up outside, because we're trying to say to our healthcare workers and essential workers that we appreciate them, that we love them, and they're really under stress right now, and they're having a hard time, and so we need to keep them lifted up. So I'm going to keep my candles in the windows, even though I'm going to take the wreaths down, get all that stuff down. I'm going to take all the stuff, clear that off the front porch. But you know what? I've got something else that's going to be going up that I know you're going to like. So keep your eye right here, and I'll see you soon.